Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar tonight. Um, our topic today is about emotional unavailability in the age of constant connection. So we are going to look at the psychology-based exploration of why we disconnect and how to build real intimacy. So this is Sarah Green. I am a psychologist and relationship therapist. And the topic is very controversial and hot topic these days because we have a lot of connections there, but as you know, people are distracted, and more connection doesn't always mean more closeness. So we want to have a look. Why do so many people seem emotionally unavailable these days, even in a relationship? So what is emotional unavailability? So the definition is a difficulty in giving or receiving emotional intimacy and vulnerability. So, and what are the traits of this? Usually the people with who are emotionally unavailable, they are avoidant, they are inconsistent in giving the emotions and receiving. They have fear of dependence, and they usually have a shallow connection. So they are not looking for deep connection, or they are weak at having deep connections. So the example of this is when you go to a relationship and it's long and they say that I'm not ready for something serious after many months of closeness. I'm sure all of you have heard from people or you have been in this situation that it's been months in a relationship, and when you are asking for a commitment or anything serious, they say, oh, I'm not ready, and they want to keep it casual. So we want to have a look at the illusion of connection in digital age. It means people think that they are constantly texting, their friends, family, others, and they are constantly in contact through social media, but there is not deep emotional intimacy. So there is like a research that's called Alone Together, which have a look at what's happening in today's due to technologies to the relationships. There are couples who are sitting next to each other side by side, but emotionally they are apart and they are looking at, for example, their mobile phones, and they don't listen actively to each other. So what are the root cause of emotional unavailability? One of the root cause is insecure attachment. So there are some attachment styles like avoidant or disorganized attachment styles. These people are more kind of prone to emotional unavailability. And it also can be due to past traumas, childhood neglect. So all of this can affect, and also the emotional suppression. Imagine the people who have caregivers who emotionally suppress themselves and they don't show their emotions. So children learn that. So, and these children become emotionally unavailable too. So, when we look at the attachment styles, we have two main attachment styles. One of them is avoidant. As I said, avoidant are more prone to emotional unavailability. And it's very hard in the relationship. If we want to say in a simple words, you are in a relationship with them, but you feel that you are neglected, they are distant from you, they don't pay attention much, and they always build a kind of wall. They don't get too close, and as they get close, they pull back. And so these avoidant people, they have fears of intimacy, they values independence, and they usually withdraw under stress. So when a stressful situation happens, they withdraw. There are three C's that they usually they withdraw after these three C's happens: closeness, conflict, and commitment. These are three things that avoidant have fear, and usually after 3 to 6 months in any relationship, conflict happens. Any relationship needs a kind of commitment and also closeness. And that's the time that usually avoidant, as things get serious, they pull back. And we also have people who have opposite, like anxious attachment style, which these people usually attract avoidant because they are opposite of avoidant. They are too clingy, they seek closeness, they fears rejection. So there is a dynamic between them, which is very famous dynamic, pull and push or chaser runner dynamic called when one person overfunctions emotionally, do a lot, give a lot, wants closeness all the time, want to have a like intimate and close discussion, and the other one pulls away. So, anxious, so they are kind of a bit opposite of avoidant, and then avoidant pull away, anxious follow more. So this dynamic is very common. And so this dynamic contribute to emotional unavailability. The more anxious people run after and chase the avoidant, the more the avoidant pull back and they become emotionally unavailable because they feel kind of suffocated in their relationship. So, what are the signs that you are dealing with an emotionally unavailable person? When a person behavior is hot and cold, when they have fears of labels or commitment, when they avoid conflict and deep conversation, they over focus on physical sexual connection rather than, other emotional things. And also when they say I'm bad at expressing emotion or when they shut down under stress. So these are some signs that you can tell the person you are dealing with is emotionally unavailable. So look at yourself. Now I want you to reflect on yourself. Are you emotionally unavailable? So now I want to just flip the mirror. And sometimes we attract what we subconsciously have. So if you are overworking, if you are, for example, others, so that can contribute to means that you also yourselves might be emotionally unavailable. Have you seen people that they work a lot, they are workaholic, or they expect so much from themselves and all the time keep themselves busy and they don't give that much emotionally to others or receive, or even about themselves, they dismiss their own needs, or they have fear of being dependent on others and they are overly independent. So these are all like the signs of that maybe you yourself are avoidant and you need to do some job if you want to have a close relationship. So why we are more emotionally unavailable today? So if we have a look at the reasons of that, one of them is digital overstimulation. So there are less presence because people are busy with this digital things, so they are less present and they are less emotionally attuned with others. So and also there are lots of like people experiencing traumas in relationships and they change, go from one relationship to other, and that also cause kind of insecurity and they have fears to get close to others. And there are also some cultural norms. For example, individualistic culture, Western culture, it relies a lot on self-reliance and people, they don't want to be vulnerable and they are usually overly independent. That is encouraged, that people be independent and don't rely on others. So then there are several reasons. And Brené Brown has a research on this that you can have a look. It's about vulnerability and shame, which people have shame to be vulnerable in a relationship. So, what is the cost of like being emotionally unavailable? It can cause loneliness in relationship, and also it can be like you can have relationship patterns which are unfulfilled, and you feel unsafe in them, and that relationship patterns repeats. And also it has mental health impact, like it can cause anxiety, it can cause low self-esteem, and also distrust. So as you see, emotional unavailability, what can cause is mostly contribute to kind of loneliness and a bit like depression, and kind of it makes it difficult to create a deep, close, fulfilled relationship. So how we can break the cycle and how we can heal this emotional unavailability. So there are some strategies. So one of them is inner work, through inner work. Mindfulness and inner child work can help, like a schema therapy. If someone has had a lot of trauma, relationship breakup, I suggest that they do the trauma focused therapy or schema therapy. They do mindfulness meditation and they heal their inner child. And the other things is they practice kind of being vulnerable in safe relationship. Although it might be difficult, but try to not always look perfect, and like have that confidence that being vulnerability can be attractive in relationship, because it shows authenticity. And also, there are like boundaries that if you become good at setting boundaries, then helps that you create healthy boundaries, but at the same time not be afraid to get close. Because when we get too much close without having any boundaries, yeah, that might cause issues in any relationship. But if you learn how to set healthy boundaries and at the same time get close, be affectionate, and be warm in a relationship, that helps the balance between these two. So now I want you to reflect back on yourself. What do you fear? What is your fear? I mean, if you truly let someone in your life, have a look at your life now. If you're especially single, or if you are with a partner and you create a space and wall, and think about that. What is your main fear when we want to become too close with someone? And then later we will explore how you can overcome this fear. So, and the other things is, this can be rewired through relationship. Um, People can be wounded in relationship, but at the same time, people can be healed in relationship. So if you find especially secure partners, they can help you rewire these anxious, avoidant tendencies. Therapy, coaching, and support groups also can help, that you can create that emotional safety and attunement. So now I want to have like a final reflection and invite you to go deeper, and saying you that, in summary, emotional vulnerability is not a flaw. It's a protective pattern. People want to protect themselves, especially after, several breaks up, traumas, and things that happen. They have lost their trust. So it's not a flaw, but it can cause issues in life, serious ones like loneliness, anxiety. I mentioned those issues. So it's a kind of protective pattern, but there are ways that we can break this pattern. And if you want to break this cycle and you need help, I can help you. You can always book a one-to-one session with me, or you can get the help of other the therapist. Thank you very much for listening, everyone.